If we're going to invest our time, talents, energy, and money into something, we want to believe that it's worth it. The church seems to be on decline in our country, so are we backing a lost cause? In the centuries that people have been following Jesus, various churches have come and gone. Since New Testament times, there have been disagreements between the leaders in the church, and over the centuries, there have been many splits in the church. Churches have flourished and churches have died, and sometimes they've been resurrected. However, through all those years, no matter what had been happening with the churches, the community of disciples that were following Jesus grew. Although sometimes it would seem that that growth happened despite the church rather than because of it. We're living in a significant time of change for the Church of England, and that change is perhaps being felt more keenly by rural churches. We have multiple buildings challenges. Many congregations are getting older and more infirm. Some churches struggle to find key people to fill roles. And like everyone else, churches are facing increased costs. Similar challenges exist for urban churches, but in a rural setting, problems are multiplied by the number of buildings that we have. So is it worth investing in your local church? I believe the answer to that is a qualified yes. Qualified because I believe that the future of all churches is secure if they are focused on being disciples, if they are focused on following Jesus. What happens to buildings or the institutions of the church or to paid clergy like me is immaterial, because as important as all those things might seem, they're not what the church is really about. Whatever happens to the trappings of church as we know it today, communities of disciples that are following Jesus will continue to encounter the love of God and continue to share it with friends and neighbours. And as they do that, they will infect people with the transforming love of God, and the kingdom of God will continue to grow on earth as it is in heaven. This is what the church is really about. And so it will always have a future if it's investing in disciples, in communities of learners, in people that are following Jesus. Dallas Willard said that many people struggle with faith today because contemporary society, the media, and even many academic institutions see faith in God as being outside the realm of knowledge. We all have faith, it just depends on what we put our faith in. If you're sitting whilst you watch this, did you carefully check the chair before you sat down to make sure it would take your weight, or did you just have faith that it would support you? If you've ever flown anywhere before you took off, did you ask to see the pilot's license and check the plane's maintenance logs, or did you just have faith that the airline would have done that properly? We have faith in chairs and in airlines based on past experience and knowledge. Faith in God is no different. Being a follower of Jesus is not about trying hard to drum up our belief. Our faith is based on past experience and knowledge. Being a disciple, being a follower of Jesus, doesn't mean we've got it all worked out, but that we are committed to learning, committed to asking the questions that are on our hearts, committed to acquiring knowledge and experience, committed to becoming the people that God is calling us to be. As we understand and put the teachings of Jesus into practice, we find them to be true. As we do this, our hearts go on being transformed, our experience and our knowledge grow, and as a result, our faith grows. All this makes us hungry to know and experience more, and to share more of the love we've received. Disciples are on a lifelong learning journey with an ongoing series of awakenings. Awakenings as we discover new insights in the Bible, as we discover new depths to God's love, as we learn to see things more through God's eyes, and as we find a whole new level of joy when others join us on that journey of following Jesus. Whatever happens to the institutions of the church, the movement of disciples that follow Jesus will go on. And that movement is a sound place to invest your time, energy, talents, and money. As we follow Jesus, we're all joining in with a movement that has shaped the society in which we live and is still shaping the world today. We are all part of a movement that is still transforming hearts, part of a movement that is the hope of the world. But how can we maintain our walk with Jesus? What if we go off track? I mean, life can be so busy, it's so easy to let other things get in the way. How can we be intentional about being a disciple in the mess of ordinary life? Well, we'll look at those questions and loads more on a follow-on course we'll be running later next year. Before that, in the new year, there'll be a chance to engage with a prayer pilgrimage called Going Deeper that we first ran 7 years ago. Going Deeper helps us explore and embed some of the different spiritual practices that we looked at last week. Those practices can be a great start in being more consistent on our journey with Jesus. I'm glad that you could join us on this course, and I pray that as you continue to follow Jesus, you would find new depths of peace, new heights of joy, and new hope for the future. God bless.